Today, we're getting into something really personal. It's an incredible account of what it's like to live with a chronic condition. But this isn't just about the struggle. No, it's about how someone is actually fighting back and taking back control. So let me ask you something right off the bat. What if the biggest thing you had to deal with every day wasn't just one thing? What if it was this moving target, something that completely changes its shape day in and day out? And that question, it really gets right to the core of this whole thing. The author kind of frames their entire struggle around this invisible enemy that they just call this. So what on earth is this? Okay, so this is not some official medical term you're going to find in a textbook. Not at all. It's way more personal than that. It's the name the author gives to any activity that you just can't give your all to, you know? It could be because of pain, stiffness, that awful fibro fog, you name it. Basically, this is whatever is standing in your way today. And to really make you feel what this is like, the author uses this perfect metaphor. They say fibromyalgia is like a nagging little sister. You know the kind, she won't leave you alone, and your mom makes you take her everywhere. It just nails that feeling of a constant annoying presence that you just can't get rid of. And here's what's so frustrating about it. This is never the same. It's this shapeshifter. One day it's one thing, the next it's something completely different. So unpredictable. So let's look at an example. The author says yesterday, this was their job. They had a great boss, someone who was super understanding and even helped out, but it didn't matter. Their body just gave up. The challenge that day was purely physical, just not being able to do the work. But then you fast forward just one day, and the whole battlefield has changed. Today's this has nothing to do with physical work. It's emotional. It's about losing your independence. It's that feeling of having to rely on someone else for something simple, like just getting a ride to the doctor. You can imagine, this constant fight, it leads to a breaking point, a real turning point. And that's when the author describes making a conscious decision. Enough wallowing. It's time to actually fight back, to take on what they call the big bad wolf. And this quote just says it all. I mean, the author is so honest here. They admit, yeah, most days they start out wallowing in self-pity. We've all been there, right? But the key, the absolute game changer, is the choice to get out of that pool. It's not about pretending you don't feel bad. It's about deciding you're not going to stay there. And I love this. To frame the fight, they use a fairy tale. Fibromyalgia? That's the big bad wolf. And yeah, at first, it seems like he has the upper hand. But the person with fibro, they're Little Red Riding Hood. And we all know how that story ends, right? She's the one who comes out on top and kicks that wolf's butt. Okay, so that's the mindset shift. It's powerful stuff. But thinking it is one thing. How do you actually do it? Well, that's where we get to the really practical part. The author's own 5-step battle plan for taking back control. And really, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you actually conquer this? It's great to have the will to fight, but what are the actual moves you make every single day? All right, let's break this plan down. Step 1, and this is so important, you are not a superhero. It is absolutely okay to have weak moments. You have to accept that. Then, step 2, know your enemy. Figure out your triggers. When you know what sets things off, you can prepare for them instead of just getting blindsided. Step 3 is all about having a strategy. Think of it like a little escape plan. Maybe it's just a few deep breaths or stepping outside for a minute. The point is to have a tool ready before you need it. Next up, step 4, you are not weak. You have to stop being so hard on yourself. Beating yourself up does nothing. And finally, step 5, it's all about that inner voice. You got to tell yourself, you got this. Seriously, you are a rock star and you can handle it. Believing that is half the battle, for sure. So when you put all these steps together, what do you get? You get this powerful, undeniable message of empowerment. It's basically a declaration that says, no matter what happens, I am the one in charge here. And look, the author doesn't sugarcoat any of this. They hit you with some real tough love, you know? They bring up what your mom probably told you 1,000 times. Life is not fair. And acknowledging that, just accepting that truth, is a huge part of moving forward. But, and this is a big but, saying life isn't fair isn't the same as giving up. Not even close. The real call to action here is to look that unfairness in the eye and refuse to let it win. It's about refusing to let any version of this call the shots in your life. Because at the end of the day, that's the bottom line. That's the one thing you need to take away from all of this. It's simple, but it's everything. You are in charge of you. Not the illness, not the pain, not anything else. You. So let's bring this all home. We've gone on this whole journey, from struggle to empowerment. And now the author leaves us with one last thing to think about. A question I want to leave with you. Do you know what your this is?